I found your patrol. They won't be coming back.
You have stolen my duty, Basra. We were supplied for this task, but you have done this instead. Take what was meant for us.
Alright, welcome back to more Dragon Age 2 with Zoe Hawke. Episode 17 getting underway. We left off with a bunch of turn-ins to do, so we're going to start off with that.
You're Ferelden, aren't you? Seems like there's more here than in Denerim.
Did you misplace this?
You brought it home? I am right stunned, actually.
Okay, the first turn-in was obviously the Lost Patrol, the dead Qunari patrol we saw out in the Wounded Coast. They'd been killed by demons. We don't know why, but whatever. And then next there was just a lost item turn-in. Now for Zoe's level, I take Aura of Pain, and it's a sustainable, and I'm not going to use it. Some builds do use it. What it does is it pulses out spirit damage continuously, and it also drains the warrior's health. And like I said, it has its uses. It's not bad. It's just not really the way I play Zoe, so I'm not going to use it. So why take it, right? Well, it's a prerequisite for a passive called Fervor, and I really want that.
Many thanks, Monsieur. Your payment?
Just don't ask where anything came from.
Okay, and that was obviously that Mage Board quest, the last one we did out there in the Wounded Coast, where we rescued a mage from the bounty hunters. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to speed up, do some transitions just to save time. Obviously selling off here. And for the level ups, Varric upgrades Bianca's Song. It will now increase attack speed and critical damage. Meryl's going to build her Entropy lineup and take Horror. It's a guaranteed single target stun. And Anders is going to take Winter's Grasp. Now how to fit all these in. Varric's is just a passive, well, an upgrade to a sustainable, so no problem. As for Horror, it's a great spell. I mean, it's 100%. It could be a boss. It doesn't matter. 100% guaranteed stun. So what I do is for her two-part tactics, enemy attacking the back line using Ranger Magic, that's now going to be Horror instead of Stone Fist. And Stone Fist will exclusively be used for detonating Disorient. As for Anders, we did pick up a couple slots, so he's just going to do enemy attacking Anders. And I go ahead and do enemy attacking Varric, because Varric kind of always gets the shaft, you know what I mean? He's always left out, so attacking Anders or Varric, they're getting Winter's Grasp. So now both mages have Winter's Grasp in rotation. So here we've transitioned to the Black Emporium, and I'm going to buy the Dull Brass Amulet and the Fallen Star. And it's a lot of gold. I mean, that's about 70 gold worth. But there are two items. They both have +1 all attributes. And Zoe already has a belt that's +1 all attributes. So she's starting to really get a lot of +1 all attribute items, which is what we want. The rest is just comparing and switching out. Now the reason I bought those is there's nothing else really to buy that I want in Act 2. And having gone all the way through the game as a warrior and scoured all these merchants and done the master plan, I know exactly what I want to buy. So because I have the gold now, I don't need to wait till Act 3. You see what I mean? On my first playthrough where I was planning, I had to just save all my gold because I wasn't sure what my shopping list would look like in the end. But now I know, so might as well spend it as soon as I have it on things that are going to help. So that's why we did that.
These patients need me more than anyone in Hightown. Have you noticed how many Tranquil are in the gallows courtyard lately? And don't tell me I'm just sensitive to it. I've been watching, and every day there are new Tranquil, selling their bloody wares. Good mages too. People I know pass their harrowing.
Doesn't Chantry law say that mages who pass their harrowing can't be made tranquil?
Exactly. The Templars are using the right of tranquility to silence those who speak against them. They're working on a deliberate plan to turn every mage in Kirkwall within the next 3 years.
Who's behind this?
The plan is the work of a Templar named Sir Ulrich. I've had a run-in with him myself. He's the one who did the ritual on Karl. Nasty piece of work. Likes to make mages beg.
What happened between you and Sir Ulrich?
I've been involved with an underground resistance. Mages living free in Kirkwall who help others escape. I can't tell you any more, for your sake and theirs. You have too much involvement with the Guard and nobility. Suffice it to say, I've been in the gallows. I've seen his work firsthand.
What else do you know about Sir Ulrich?
The Knight Commander is at least sincere in her convictions. However misguided, she believes she's helping people. Sir Ulrich's a sadist. Cold-blooded as a lizard. He likes to experiment on mages. Find out what it takes to push them into the arms of demons.
How do we stop them?
My friends in the Mage Underground know a way inside. A secret entrance under the walls of the gallows. Come with me tonight, please. Help me find the evidence of Sir Ulrich's tranquil solution.
What do you mean, tranquil solution?
That's what he calls it. His idea of a peaceful solution to the mage problem. To sunder the mind of every mage in the free marches. I'm told he's bringing his proposal to Val Royeaux, to the Divine herself. He would turn every mage in Thedas into a drooling simpleton under his command.
If this plot exists, it must be exposed.
I am honored by your trust. I'm ready to go when you are. Our entrance is concealed not far from here.
Okay, so this quest, Dissent, and Merrill's, which we'll get to shortly, called Mirror Image, these don't open up until later in the act. And there's a reason for that. They're very difficult. Everything from here on out is extremely hard and very demanding. And it's another reason why I wanted to go ahead and spend my gold and be as geared up as possible on Zoe before pressing ahead.
Do not tell anyone about this way into the gallows. It's a secret that has saved the lives of hundreds of mages. This is it. This tunnel will take us into the gallows. Are you ready to help me find evidence of the tranquil solution?
Let's go.
I have personally led 5 mages to freedom through these tunnels. They bent to kiss the ground through the sewage.
Let's make sure.
Lyrium smugglers built these tunnels to service the Templars who crave the stuff.
Okay, this is a little circuitous through here. As I mentioned in the intro, the game just reuses the same maps, and when you adventure in the same map through Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 for this quest, that quest, you know, you start to get a little bit disoriented sometimes. What quest am I on again? Were there traps in this room for this quest in this act? You know what I mean? So, is this the part where this type of monster is about to pop out? Do I switch over my staves to change my damage? So it's not as smooth as it could have been because I was a little bit, like I said, disoriented at this point. But it's a pretty good run up until the boss fight anyway. So I go ahead and leave it in here, and just you have to bear with some of the disjunctive slow going, you know.
Someone's left a surprise here for us. Piece of cake.
What do you think you're doing? Get back!
So once I figured it out, obviously I made the right call. There were 2 traps and there were spiders, so we needed to switch to electricity damage. And you can kind of get a feel, if you haven't already, part of what makes Nightmare really difficult is whether you have that familiarity with each level or not, you know, because you might have this badass staff, like say Veracity, but you know, if you just carry it around all the time, you're going to end up in fights against things that are immune to fire damage, or in a fight like say the spiders where it would have done okay damage, but by switching to electricity they're actually weak to electricity damage, and it really helps get through it a lot easier, you know. So that is a lot of the rub in Nightmares, just knowing what's coming, where are the traps, what damage type, you know, and it makes it particularly challenging, especially for lazy gamers.
I haven't done anything wrong.
That's a lie. What do we do to mages who lie?
I just wanted to see my mum. No one ever told her where they were taking me.
No. No, this is their place. We cannot...
So, you admit your attempted escape? You know what happens to mage girls who don't toe the line around here, don't you?
Please, no! Don't make me tranquil. I'll do anything.
That's right. Once you're tranquil, you'll do anything I ask.
The Chantry frowns on Templars who take personal advantage of their charges.
Who's this?
It's the Divine. Come all the way from Orlais to tell you personally what a jackass you are.
You fiends will never touch a mage again. They will die! I will have every last Templar for these abuses!
It's over, Anders. They're all dead.
Every one of them will feel justice's burn!
Get away from me, demon!
I am no demon! Are you one of them, that you would call me such?
Anders, that girl is a mage. We rescued her from being made tranquil.
She is theirs. I can feel their hold on her.
She's the reason you're fighting, Anders. Don't turn on her now. Please, Messer.
Baker, no. I almost... If you weren't here... I need to get out of here.
Okay, disturbing stuff there. Anders nearly losing control as Justice. A really hard fight, and I'm going to talk about it, but there's a letter on Ulrich's corpse, so go ahead and read this. So as much as Ulrich is obviously a monster, and he deserved to die, some indication that Knight Commander Meredith isn't willing to go that far. You know, she denied his request. And we'll talk with Anders more about this later and tell him about that bit of evidence. Yeah, as for the fight, it's a close second to Forbidden Knowledge, which I call the hardest fight in the game. This is a close second. If you run back and funnel the enemies, it's not too bad, as you saw. That can still go wrong, you know. Trust me, even running back you can wipe, but it's I've tried to do that fight in the room. And on this group, I thought, oh, this is the best group so far, you know. Did it about 3 or 4 tries, still couldn't do it. Just never been able to do that fight in the room.
You saved my life, Messer. What was that thing?
He's no demon. Just a deeply troubled man.
Can I go home now?
Find your parents, but don't stay there. You must leave Kirkwall.
I know. There's nowhere in the city where Sir Ulrich's men won't find me. Thank you, Messer. Andraste herself must have put you in that room.
And we got a upgrade to Zoe's chess piece called Dissent, I think, and it's really ugly, man. Sometimes I just don't wear it because, you know me, just super vain. Everything's got to look cool. And you'll see it better in these cutscenes where we're talking. But the stats are pretty nice, like 9% bonus physical damage. That's almost like double her sustainable, you know, so it's worth it.
Trash. Trash. Keep. Trash. Trash. Won't be needing that anymore.
This is all Sir Ulrich had. Looks like the Tranquil solution began and ended with him.
Let me see that. The Divine rejected the idea. Meredith rejected the idea. This was not what I expected. Perhaps I should try talking to the Grand Cleric. Maybe she's more reasonable than I thought. Thank you. I will think on what you said.
What are you doing?
Putting out milk. I miss having a cat around. But I think the refugees have scared them all off. Or maybe eaten them. You know, I've been meaning to thank you. You don't need to stick your neck out for the mages here. But you have. You let those apostates from Starkhaven start over. Maybe they can be an example for the world.
Mages cannot be treated as guilty just by association.
I can't tell you how reassuring that is. Sometimes, you're the only reason I don't think I'm crazy. When you still believed in me after I almost killed that poor girl. I knew you meant it. You wouldn't say it just to make me feel better. You make me think I can really do this. Lead a revolution.
I didn't realize you were planning anything that big.
No small change would address the injustice that mages face. The Chantry itself must be overturned. There will always be mages born in Thedas. But Templars are made by men. And they can be unmade.
Why does this matter so much to you?
You saw Sir Ulrich's plan. How many Templars would prefer that every mage was a mindless, drooling babe? In the Circle, they tell you day and night that magic is sin. A mark on your soul of the Maker's hatred. But for all the talk of demons, the most common death I saw for a mage was suicide.
Together, we'll win this fight.
Your faith inspires me. Sometimes, I fear I cannot do this. Not while I struggle against this vengeance inside me. But I know you won't let me lose myself to him.
Okay, sometimes, like there, the companion will have a follow-up, just general dialogue called Questioning Beliefs, and those trigger after certain kind of landmarks in the approval rating bar have been met, and so they're not always meant to trigger immediately after the main companion quest. Like we just, like there, you know, we just finished Dissent and we followed up with that bit, and then we immediately talked to him again for Questioning Beliefs. Sometimes the timing of those are different, and sometimes they're just right after each other.
I think you let this get away from you.
Simple as that? Just a walk and drop? Amazing.
So yeah, don't let the timing of the questioning beliefs dialogue throw you off. They're related to the extent they're about the companion, but it's not just more dialogue directly related to their quest, if that makes sense. But that timing does happen a lot in this act and in Act 3. Sometimes we'll just immediately talk to the companion again, and it'll almost seem as if the game intended you to go away and do some things and then come back and check on them again, you know. But if it's available and I'm right there, I'm just going to click it and do it and move on. As for Anders,
You want daggers?
we've been seeing it all along. He's pretty revolutionary, to use his own words, and
Just keeping the...
while we've been sympathetic to mages and him, sometimes you just feel like, hey buddy, you need to dial it back, you know what I mean?
Welcome home, Messiah. If you need me for anything, by all means, let me know.
But yeah, that tension, that kettle cooker is continuing to boil, the Templar mage tension, and you know, you can suspect things are going to get worse before they get better. So we've stopped off at home. We're going to gear up now for Meryl's quest. It's called Mirror Mirror, and you'll notice I buy some runes of nature resist. That's going to come into play on the boss fight. And remember that ugly helm I've been wearing? Part of why I've held on to it is because it has nature resist. So between the helm and just putting one rune in my boots, and then my elemental aegis and also some other things that are giving me magic and flat damage resistance, I should be okay. I think I check it here.
I can make it for you.
Yeah, it looks like 39% nature resistance. Add 13 for damage plus magic, that's 52, and then 40 for the Aegis. So that's going to be at 92% nature resistance. That's what we want. And then Meryl and Varric had a free slot, so I went ahead and threw a rune of nature resistance on each of them. Okay, so off to Meryl's. Let's get this ball rolling.
I've got something to show you. Come and see. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Something seems off about your mirror. Shouldn't it reflect the room?
No. It's not that sort of mirror. I've spent the last few years restoring this. 2 of my clan stumbled across it in a ruin. We never found Tamlin. Amariel came back poisoned by the Alluvion, sick just from being near it.
What's an Alluvion?
Long ago, the elves had a kingdom, an empire that covered Thedas, and every city had an Alluvion. The mirrors let them communicate across their empire, but I don't know how exactly. My people have lost so much. We know almost nothing of the days before Arlathan. This is a piece of our history.
What are you trying to do with this mirror?
At first, I wanted to find out what happened to my friends. Maybe I could still help them. But the Keeper said Mahariel died to stop the Blight. I'll never... Anyway, I know I can use it to help my people recover what we've lost.
This thing is what made the Keeper send you away, isn't it?
The Keeper wanted me to destroy the fragment I kept. She said our ancestors meant it to be forgotten. But it's a Keeper's place to remember. Even the dangerous things. We argued. I left. She's wrong. This mirror could teach us so much about who we once were.
Did your clan member recover?
She had the Blight corruption, the Keeper said. Marathari's magic was keeping it at bay, but not forever. A Grey Warden took her away. He promised they could cure her. I suppose they must have. The Keeper said she led the armies that slew the Archdemon.
I'm sure you wouldn't show something this dangerous to just anyone.
It's not dangerous, I promise. I fixed it, or tried to, with blood magic. The mirror won't hurt anyone.
I cringe every time she says that. She has no idea what she's messing with.
I do. I have it totally under control. But it doesn't work. I've tried everything, and I think it's because it needs to be finished with a special tool. An Arulin home. And my clan has one. It's been in their hands for generations.
But you're afraid to face Keeper Marathari again.
Exactly. You have no idea, the Keeper. I can't talk to her. We fight or talk circles around each other. She has a disappointed frown that turns your bones to jelly. Please, help me. You will, won't you?
I'll go with you.
Master Anus, I'll find some way to repay you, I promise.
So a nice tie-in with our pre-built history that we selected at the beginning of the game called the Martyr. Recall a Dalish elf sacrificed herself in order to slay the archdemon in the events of Dragon Age Origins. Now, I don't recall if I ever played a Dalish elf in Origins for my main character, and if that's really the way the player character contracts the blight. But at any rate, a nice tie-in, given that's what we selected. And also remember from what you saw of Inquisition and maybe my videos that the Alluvion, the mirror, plays a big role in that. Remember Morrigan has brought one from Ferelden, and there's something going on with Solus, and you know, we used the Alluvion in that game in order to track down the archenemy. So a lot of tie-ins, both backwards and forwards.
It's not a good feeling, you know.
What?
Being an abomination. I just got a taste of your future.
I'm not that foolish. Our relationship is, strictly platonic.
It's like you're trapped in your own body, seeing out your eyes, while someone else moves you like a puppet. And you're trying to scream, to move a single muscle, but there's no escape. Until you look down at the blood on your hands.
Stop it! You're scaring me.
That's the point.
Keeper.
You returned to us, darling. Have you reconsidered this path at last?
Go on. I'm with you.
Thank you, Hawke. Keeper, I need the Arulin home. The ancient carving blade that Master Island keeps.
I see. You wish to rebuild the Alluvion.
You don't have to approve of it. I'm invoking Via Sulavanen. I'll do whatever task you wish.
Well, I'm glad to know I can still disapprove. It is your right. I will give you a service to perform if you insist.
What did Merrill invoke?
Our history belongs to all Dalish, child. So our clan's most cherished relics can be claimed by everyone. Any Dalish can perform a service for the clan and gain ownership of such an item. For a time. That is what Merrill has invoked. Even if she has chosen to live apart, she is still one of the people.
What exactly is this thing we're asking for?
It is an ancient carving tool, used by our wood shapers, passed down for countless generations. Our clan has carried it since before the fall of the Dales. It is as old as Arlathan itself.
We appreciate your help. This means a lot to Merrill.
I'm glad that Merrill has a friend in you, child. I hope you will look after her.
I can take care of myself, Keeper.
Yes, Dalen. I know. Avar Terrell has taken the lives of 3 of our hunters. It lairs in a cavern in the mountainside. Seek it out, slay it. No one else must fall to its anger. Do this for us, and I will give you the Arulin home. May the Dread Wolf never catch your scent.
The cave must be near camp. The Keeper would just warn the hunters away otherwise.
With this.
Dear Varric, please learn to parry. Love your innards. Ouch.
Rada. Valondine Gaiju Lethalan.
What were the hunters doing in here?
The Keeper would have sent them to recover elven artifacts from the Varterol before the camp had to move in again.
So your Keeper sent them to their deaths?
No. Normally they let the Dalish come and go as we please. Something must have provoked it.
Okay, a good example of how hard things are getting in here, and also a good example of the split level bug. I don't know if you noticed, sometimes the companions just stood there, didn't do anything, they were stuck on the stairs. And ordinarily I pull the spiders back up, I hold the party in the upper level and then pull the spiders up to us, but a couple things. A, I was tired and being lazy, and B, I wanted to see if this kick-ass group could just, you know, get through it without doing that. And I got my answer. And I thought about refilming, but, you know, I said, I'm just going to let it go, because I want him to see what I'm talking about with all this split-level bug, you know?
Why did this happen? Oh, Harshal, I am so sorry. I'll tell Iniria for you.
Nothing to worry about.
wasn't a dream. Never mind.
Okay, more trouble. There I held the party up top, and then I guess I released the hold party function a little too soon because, again, it's a split level bug. They don't just stand and fight on one level. They try to get down to the level where the enemies are. And you saw Anders just run down into the middle of like 1,000 spiders and die. So it's just rough, you know. And again, I thought, should I refilm? Should I refilm? I can do this better, but I kind of wanted you to see a less polished run, you know. I wanted you to see that, hey, this is really hard, and if you're just slightly tired or feeling a little lazy or you forgot how to do this one pull, I mean, how many pulls have I shown you already? And we're only in Act 2. I mean, hundreds of pulls, and I have to remember every single one and where to position people, you know what I mean? So, it's just tough, and I wanted you to see that.
Jandan! Tread carefully, Lethaline. May the trickster never find you in the beyond.
We should give their clan amulets to the Keeper. Their families should know that they died bravely.
Is someone there? It's safe. You can come out.
Hello? Praise Andraste. I mean the creators. I thought I'd never get out of... Meryl?
Anethera, Paul. Are you hurt?
Stay back. What do you want from me?
Paul, what's wrong? I'm here to help.
Stay back! Don't touch me!
Be calm, Paul. We'll help you get back to the camp.
You don't know what she is, what she's done! Creators, help me! Someone, please!
Paul, no! We have to catch him, hurry! Hold on, Paul. We're coming.
Paul? Maybe it's not too late. You can help him, can't you, Anders? You can heal anyone.
Meryl. He's gone.
Why did you run? You shouldn't have run.
There was nothing you could have done.
He was more afraid of me than the Varterol.
Paul wasn't like the others. He was city-born, worldly. He ran away from the Denerim and found us. I thought if anyone would understand, he would. Something is very wrong. I want to see the Keeper.
Wow. I mean, talk about Redline and Devatron. How did Anders, of all people, live and everyone else dies? Just incredible. I mean, a sliver of life. One more hit and we wipe there. So even though I've been able to do that fight better, I've also wiped way more than I've beaten it. But I considered refilming just to make it look, you know, more awesome, but I just thought that was great, man. A super challenging, just nail biter, you know, down to the last second. Keep in mind, I'm at 92% nature resistance, you know, so all those like acid spit pools, and he knocks rocks from the ceiling down, and the ads, any of these things can just like one shot your back line and you fail, you know what I mean? So really, really hard. I always save it for the end of Act 2, and hopefully you like that, because it was just such a nail biter. You know, the first time maybe you've seen us really barely get by, you know. That's ordinarily what Act 2 is like for most people, like on every pool. You know what I mean? And we're not done yet. Getting out of here is hard.
Paul, what was he thinking? He acted like I was a monster.
Maybe he was thinking, Blood Mage! That seems the most likely scenario.
The way everyone looked at me in the camp when we arrived. What have they been saying about me?
They must think I'm worse than the Blight. I've never hurt the clan. They had no reason to be afraid of me. None of this makes any sense.
So not too bad, but pretty rough to throw those undead fights at you after the Vartorel. I mean, look, Varric still has an injury, and that's because, well, I just got a kit there, but so many people have died on this run that I've burned through all my injury kits, you know? And this frost horror that I ran up here and killed, if you don't take care of that immediately, that'll just wipe your party. And a lot of people, if they hadn't saved by accident, would have to go back and do the Vartorel fight again, you know what I mean? So, by design, a really hard quest, and hope you enjoyed it.
Are you alright?
I nearly killed an innocent girl. How could I be alright?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? For me? This could be you. You could be the next monster threatening helpless girls.
Anders, there's no such thing as a good spirit. There never was. All spirits are dangerous. I understood that. I'm sorry that you didn't.
Alright, good for you, Meryl. Finally someone calls out Anders and all his hypocrisy vis-a-vis spirits and blood magic.
The Varterol is dead.
Maceranus. I'll breathe easier knowing that we will lose no more people to it.
We found these.
I'll return them to their families.
We lost Paul. In the cave, he fled at the sight of me. Straight into the Varterol.
Many of the clan fear you will bring back the corruption. Or worse, from the mirror.
And where did they get that idea?
I am their keeper, Dalain. It was my duty to warn them. It's still not too late for you to return to us. Reconsider. There's no need for you to live alone.
Must we go over this again? You'll never accept what I'm doing.
The Eluvian is poison. It killed Tamlin. It stole Mahariel. It led you to blood magic. Will you let it twist you further from who you are?
And who am I? We've done as you asked. Honor our bargain. Give me the Arulin home.
Hawke. Because Meryl won't listen, I give this heirloom of my clan to you for safekeeping. Please, don't let her do this.
Thank the creators. I thought maybe she'd go back on her word.
Is it worth restoring this mirror if it turns your clan against you?
You know what it's like to lose everything, Hawke. Not just our land and freedom, but history, stories, language, magic, rituals. Even our gods are gone. It is a sacrifice, but if the mirror restores even one fragment of the past, it's worth it.
What did the Keeper mean? The mirror led you to blood magic.
The shard I picked up was corrupted. I couldn't cleanse it without help. The Keeper refused. She said that it belonged to another time and should be left there. So I found a spirit. It gave me the power to purify the mirror through blood magic.
I've never heard of blood magic purifying anything.
There's nothing inherently evil about blood magic. It's magic, like any other.
Are you really that stupid?
The power that contaminated the mirror was too strong to be driven out by normal means. If I had piles of lyrium lying about, I could have used that, but I didn't. I used what I had.
I hope this helps you finish your work on the Eluvian.
I don't think that's wise, Hawke. Whatever she's trying to do with that mirror, it's at the behest of a demon.
No one asked you. Thank you. I knew you would understand. Let's be away from here. The others are giving me the evil eye.
Okay, you can choose not to give it to her, or she'll ask for it again later. I always give it to her because it advances the quest, and it also increases her approval. So we're going to head back to her house and do some dialogue with her, and that'll wrap up the episode. So this has been a fun, challenging one. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you next time for more Dragon Age 2.
Hawke, I could never have faced the Keeper myself. I never imagined a human would help me restore Dalish history. No one ever understood. Not the Keeper, not my clan. Just you.
When the Illuvian is finished, they'll appreciate all you've done for them.
It's all right. Even if they hate me forever, I'll know I helped them. You're the first real friend I've ever had. Masaranus, Lethalan. Oh, Hawke! Come in. I was just... Am I crazy?
What? No, of course not.
I thought their rule in a home would fix everything. The mirror would work and everything would be right again. But I keep dreaming of Paul's face. Everyone that I care for thinks I'm a monster.
What happened in that cave wasn't your fault. Paul did that to himself.
I know. But I caused it, or the clan did, filling his head with terrible stories about me. You're a true friend, Hawke. I'll find a way to make this up to you, Lethalan. That's a promise.